Somehow something got on my portrait over the break. Not sure what happened here, but it will not go away. Hopefully it is something I can work on later. It was like some kind of wax or something on there. Can't get it off. Super frustrating. So anyways, I'm gonna move on to working on Penny. So looking at my different levels of darkness here. So right here, my darkest dark is in the mouth here and in the eyes. And then we have a couple real darks in the background here. So I have a level 10 right here, some 9s in here, 8s, 7s, 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, and 2s, and this is not quite a 0, but really close. That's a 0, 0, there are 1s. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start with the eyes because that's always my go-to for my starting point. So she's got some really light blue eyes. And then try to go in lightly so that I don't make a mistake by going too dark. And just kind of start off with some basic outlines. Oops. I'm going to move this picture down here a little bit. I'm also going to cover up this part so that my hand doesn't smudge it any more than it already is. So what I'm looking for here is just showing the different darks. I really can't see the like a round pupil in here. Just a few different values in there. I have a highlight right in here. Looks a little bit like a cat eye right now. But I really can't see the round pupils, so if you don't see roundness and you see squiggles, you draw those squiggles. So right now it looks like a cat eye. I'm gonna do some more blending in here. She's got a really dark outline to her eye. I know there's eyelashes on there, but I cannot see them. What I see is just kind of a blur of darkness. I have some shadows in there. I think I got a little dark with this under eye. I'm gonna lighten that a little bit. Now I'm gonna work on the whites of the eye. They're a little dark there, but not white. So we do have some different shadows in there. I'm gonna get that tear duct. Whoops. I'm adjusting where I put the eye initially, fixing that a little bit. Sometimes my first outlines don't quite look right. That should be reassuring for any other beginning artist, that when you are working on your drawings, you are probably going to redraw things several times. All right, so I'm working on my level 8s and 9s, and here's some really dark parts, and most of it are 8s and 9s if you think of your value scales, okay? I'm gonna take a step back and see if I'm liking what I see. I can see that it looks pretty accurate. Got a highlight down in this corner. I know there's a pupil in there, but it does not look round in the picture. In the picture, I'm just drawing what I see, which is different levels of blurriness and different darknesses in there. But I do see a highlight right down here. Those highlights are important to show. I'm putting in a couple of my level 10s. Those are really important to identify what is the darker areas and what's the lighter areas. I think I got a little too big with this eye there. I'll fix that a little bit. It's a little bit flatter here. I'm going to soften all this up with my blending stump, but I'm just going to go ahead and bring in some of the values. I'll soften it up when I get my blending stump out. For right now, I'm just putting a little bit of value on here as I draw the eyebrows. Looks like I've got a little too high up with that. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. Go back in with my eraser a little bit. Got a highlight right at the top of that eyebrow. Like I said, I'm gonna soften this up a little bit when I get out my blending stump. So for right now, I'm just putting a little bit of graphite on there to show some of those shapes. The eyebrows, the eyes. I think I got a little too high with this one too, so I'm just gonna lower that eyebrow. And I will soften that up in just a little bit here. And what I see in my picture, some outlines to those little ears. Ears traditionally go to the bottom of the nose and start right about the top of the eye. So what I'm doing is just trying to bring in some of the different values, make sure I have the shape right. We have some nice highlights up here at the top of the ear. And then what you see behind there is that wall. This other ear looks like it has a very different shape to it. What I see is a lot more shadows, and because her face is turned a little bit differently, we see some different details. So this ear looks bigger than the other one. Gotta draw what we see, and in this case, it looks like we have a lot of a way bigger ear, but remember, I'm going to soften all of these details up in just a little bit. So right now I'm just putting a little bit of value in there, and then we'll go back and adjust it a bit. Sometimes you really have to take a step back and look and see what you're doing. When I'm real close to my artwork like I am right now, it's really easy to get distorted. So I'm trying to make sure I kind of take a step back and look and make sure I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I see that Penny's her little chin, it definitely gets real pointy here. So I want to make sure I adjust it for what I see. Right now I'm just trying to go in with real soft marks. And I will further soften up what I'm drawing here when I use my blending stump. So I'm just pressing real lightly, going in with a little bit of a hatching to get some values, and then when I go in with my blending stump, I'll be able to soften that all up. So for right now, it's not looking very soft, but it will. It will, just a little bit. So when it comes to these noses, you gotta be real careful to just show the shadows that you see and try to forget that you're drawing a nose. Try to focus on just the shadows. If you focus on just the shadows, then what happens is you end up making really accurate renderings of a nose. The biggest mistake I see are people that try to draw an outline to the nose. That's not real accurate. We're not drawing cartoons here, we're drawing people. So I'm going to finish bringing in some of these details before I really go in and start doing some shading. Just want to make sure I got the details I want to emphasize in the right place. Penny's got a great smile. She is. We're going to see some of our darkest darks in here. So it's important to identify exactly where those spaces are. And then I'll be softening this up a little bit with that blending stump, like I had said before, over and over. I keep telling you the same thing. You are gonna go in with that blending stump, and that is gonna, or your Q-tip, and that's really gonna help things a lot. And I'm just trying to go in with her gum line. Trying not to put too much emphasis on showing lines between teeth, because that's not entirely the best way to do teeth. Try to focus on what shadows do you see? What shapes do you see? Now, because she's a little bitty thing, her teeth are still real small. They're not real big teeth. So I'm just gonna make sure I'm really emphasizing the shadows that I see instead of big details and lines. So in between the teeth is where we have a real dark area before we start showing these bottom teeth. I'm going to lighten this up just a little bit. And I'm just going to show a bit of an outline for the teeth. And then where that bottom lip is. She has a bit of a shadow down there. Right now it's not looking very accurate, just getting started though. Remember, this is a level 10, so our darkest dark on here, right next to these teeth. This is a level 9 right here. This little area here, it's not quite a 10, but it's not super light either. So I guess the best advice I have about teeth is for you to try to minimize drawing real heavy lines and try to focus on just showing those shadows. The more you focus on just the shadows and small details, the better off you're gonna be. Well-sharpened pencil goes a long way with this. I need a nice fine point so I can get in and be able to kind of show an accurate rendering of what those teeth look like. Because right now, they look kind of different. It's important to show those gum lines. Those gum lines are really what also I see people forget about that. And those gum lines really help define the teeth, make them look natural. Kids usually have larger gum lines because they don't have their adult teeth in yet. So I'm just trying to show some of those details, and now they look really light to me, so I'm going to go back in and show some more of the shadows that are in there. And I'll soften this up a bit with my blending stump when I get to that point. Right now it looks kind of dark. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna fix that all up and make it look more natural with my blending stump. Right now I see some heavy outlines, so I'm gonna soften this up a bit, and then I'm gonna go in with my eraser. And I can always bring out some of those details. I'm using my eraser. At the bottoms of her teeth is where we see a lot more brightness, so I'm making sure I bring that out. That's it for this video. I'm gonna go back in and do a little more erasing